And here we are again today. Empathy in Action is doing an interview series with local Central New York role models, leaders, movers and shakers in the community who are providing incredible services to the community. And following that is Frieda Weeks. She is here today. She is the founder and president of Hope for Heather. And I'm going to allow you to talk about and tell us all about Hope for Heather and the mission and what you're doing. But let's frame it around maybe what a typical day would have been for you. Go back, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And I'm guessing that you weren't doing as many Zoom calls as you're doing right now.
No.
So tell us, what is Hope for Heather?
Well, Hope for Heather was started in memory of our daughter, Heather. Heather was 24 when she passed from cancer. Her whole life, from the time she could walk, she dreamed of being a dancer. She grew up dancing. She went to college for dance. She went on a world tour with Sesame Street Live right out of college. She moved to New York, continued dancing, met the love of her life, and then started not feeling well. And she'd always had some tummy trouble. So she decided to take a break from dancing until she felt better, and she took a temporary job at a place called the Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance. And there she found a totally different calling and passion. And her temporary job turned into what she had hoped would be a career for her in educating women about ovarian cancer and spreading awareness. She found a huge passion and a need in the country to create awareness. So we were surprised when she called us and said she was going to give up dancing and stay at this place. And we knew that our lives would probably change because she always brought us into her projects. And a few months after she started working there, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And about 6 months later, she had a massive stroke, a blood clot to the brainstem from her chemo, and passed away. So we didn't know what to do, but we decided that if ovarian cancer was enough for her to change her life, we would certainly change ours. So we decided to start a foundation to create education and awareness for ovarian cancer, to raise money for research, and to try to help some patients. We had no idea 11 years ago where this journey would take us, but it has been just that, a journey. So we've learned a lot, and so that's how we got started, basically. And we had no money when we started, zero. So it was definitely a journey. And today, a typical day, if it wasn't for COVID, would have me usually starting out my day doing some social media, putting some awareness tweets out there, updating our Hope for Heather page, maybe having a meeting with a patient or a survivor or a caregiver, working on event planning. We have several major events throughout the year. We also do a lot of small events like health fairs and things like that. So usually there's some sort of planning that's going on for something coming up. A lot of emails to return, being out in the public, working with people instead of Zoom meetings and what we're doing now. It's kind of frustrating not to be able to get out there with the patients and meet with people and hug them and have our support group. We have a monthly support group, and we are doing that online now as well. So that's what a typical day would be. A total surprise. Sometimes you never knew where your day was going to take you, but we're always working on a project. And right now we're working on projects, but that is via Zoom and if our projects will be happening.
Yeah. So besides the Zoom meetings and not having the personal contact with your patients, what else have been your biggest challenges since, the time of isolation here?
Well, I think like every other nonprofit, fundraising. Our fashion show and brunch, which was supposed to be April 19th, is one of our two biggest fundraisers of the year, and that has been postponed till November 1st. And everyone is strapped now for cash and for giving, and we understand that. we're trying to do the best we can and be good stewards and do what we can do. But I think fundraising is a big problem for all nonprofits, getting out there and sharing your mission, and not being able to receive the donations that you need to carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. And it changes perspective a little bit too. And I know with some of the people I've spoken with and myself, we've had to kind of change our priorities.
Sure.
If we're not in a position right now to go out and do fundraising, how are we spending those hours? And what can we grasp onto to really make it worthwhile? So social media and these type of things become key.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've chosen, this Friday is World Ovarian Cancer Day, May 8th. And it was started back in 2013 to create a global initiative to create awareness and education about the disease. So it's grown to over 140 organizations around the world in about 50 different countries, many languages. And in the United States, September is our National Awareness Month, but May 8th, we try to participate with this. So we tried to do something different this year. Usually we have a open house. We'll set up a shop at Cafe 407 and greet people when they come in, invite people to come there. But this year we've actually partnered with some local businesses who have been supportive of us. So we're doing a partnership with Montezuma Winery, they just launched the Hope Rosé wine, our second venture with them. And each bottle of wine a portion of that will come to Hope for Heather. Each bottle of wine will also have a symptom card attached to it. So they get the warning signs in all about Hope for Heather. But the main goal is, I picture some woman opening that bottle of wine and just holding onto that card, and maybe someday looking at it when she not feeling well, and say it might save her life. You just never know. Frieda Weeks candle, who Aubrey Ludington Panic grew up, basically Heather grew up with her doing theater. It has a beautiful Hope candle. A portion of that goes to Hope for Heather. So when you support local businesses, you're supporting us as well. We thought it good to do a partnership. Chuck Hafner Farms, who is a sponsor of Hope for Heather, will be giving out a symptom card. Beach Chocolates will be giving out a symptom card. And even though donations are key for us, our mission is really saving a life. And we're fortunate that we are all volunteer, so no one here is missing a salary. We do this out of our love and out of the goodness of our hearts, because we just are in love with what we do every single day. So saving a life is our key goal right now through this pandemic.
Absolutely. I have to say, one of the things that really impresses me speaking with you is that, you are head of a foundation, and fundraising is so important, and making the relationships and making the contacts and getting out there and setting up the partnerships, sponsors, everything like that. But that you spent and plan to spend so much of your time with patients, one-on-one. And I love that. That must be fueling your passion for moving forward and also getting to the other side of this.
It does. It really does. And of course, the difficult part with ovarian cancer is it is so deadly, and it is often not discovered because there's no test until it's too late. And we do get to connect with amazing people, and we also lose amazing people. And that's really difficult for us, is the loss. But that again fuels me to work harder. I turn my sadness and my anger back right into my passion for making it happen.
Yeah.
And working with more people and getting out there and doing more. But we have met some wonderful people who have come into our lives because of this.
Yeah. And, talking about empathy, it's interesting. I bet you are taking not only a strategy of empathy towards what you do every single day, it's probably ingrained in you, but talking with sponsors and talking with partners, you're probably teaching empathy too, teaching them or showing them what it's like to be in someone else's shoes.
Well, when we first went to Montezuma Winery, I'm going to tell you, they are wonderful partners in the community. And we talked to the owner, and, when we first met them, their goal was to raise money for us, which is wonderful. But when we left, the owner said he was excited about raising money, but also about creating the awareness and the education. And that is the key. And they have done an amazing job. They have turned a part of their winery into a little awareness with all kinds of teal things. They have reached out and shared with the community so much, and I know that lives are saved because of that outreach that they're doing, and we need that kind of partnership. It's so important. I can't say enough about what they've done to raise money, but also to save lives of the women and show the women in their community that they care.
Yeah.
They just shut down their distillery and made 100 gallons of hand sanitizer for the Auburn Hospital. Wonderful people. Those are the people that bring us joy, that we connect with. They bring us happiness because they're looking out for their community and their employees and everyone else. And that's the kind of small business we should all get behind.
Absolutely. And what a perfect partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Once you find someone and you're working with them and they're working for the same passion, not just so that they can show that they're giving money to a local nonprofit, but that passion is there behind it, and they can help to work with you as to how can we best get the awareness out there.
It's been terrific, and that's what we need. Hafner Farms as well. They are going to be our decor sponsor for our fashion show, and they're right out there. We want to give symptom cards. We want to pass them out and let people know about this disease. And these are efforts. The symptom cards that cost very little. We're very fortunate that Upstate Cancer Center prints our symptom cards for us. Hope Heather was a founder for the Cancer Center. They print our cards, so we're able to get them out and get them into the public at no cost to us, at no cost to businesses. And the fact that we can partner with these local businesses and get the word out and maybe save a life, that's what it's all about. Because the symptoms are so vague. Bloating, difficulty eating, trouble going to the bathroom, back pain. Who doesn't have those every day? But getting the doctor to pay attention to them, having that card in your hand and say, look, I know you think this is this, but can you prove to me it's not ovarian cancer? And when we have the local businesses that partner with us, it's a win-win, because the symptom cards are at no cost to anybody, thanks to Upstate Cancer Center.
Yeah. And it takes a little of the fear and the stigma out of it, of saying,
Sure.
I don't want my doctor to think I'm paranoid. I actually have something here, and there are other people talking about it, and there is a campaign out there, and it's easier for me to say, hey, can you consider this for me, please?
Absolutely. And it's when women go for their annual checkup, we're checked for cervical cancer because there is no test for ovarian. And ovarian is often not talked about. I remember when Heather took her job with OCRA, she called me and asked me what I knew about ovarian cancer. And I said, oh, Gilda Radner died of that. That was all I knew. And I could hear her rolling her eyes over the phone.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to be learning about ovarian cancer. And it is very dangerous. It's the 5th leading cause of cancer death for women, and the most deadly. It's catching it early is the key, but because there's no test, they often don't.
Right.
So we're out there educating and advocating. If you've ever gone to a Crunch game where we're there, you'll see my husband is the silver-haired guy who's going through the entire crowd, not watching the game, handing a card and a ribbon to every woman in the crowd. Just getting it out there. He'll be the one walking around the state fair, leaving the booth and going around the state fair, and he'll have a ribbon on, and women will say, why are you wearing that? We have a very successful program called Men of Teal, and every September, these guys are out there in the community just creating awareness and reaching out to the women in their lives. And it's been so important to get that word out.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's just incredible, and it's so important, that the work that you're doing and within the community, and obviously it needs to happen more and nationwide, and we should all support it. Is there some call out that you would like, specific or in general, for us to take away? you know, go buy wine could be one of them, right?
Go buy wine, go to Frieda Weeks and get a Hope candle, go to Hafner's and get your plants and support these local businesses. Certainly Montezuma for all that they do in the community too, but go to our Hope for Heather Facebook page and like us and follow what we're doing. PM me through Facebook and get some symptom cards to pass out to the women in your life. May 8th is World Ovarian Cancer Day. It's also the start of Mother's Day weekend. Everyone knows a mom. Everyone knows somebody who's a mom. Everyone has a grandma or an aunt or a cousin or a sister. It costs nothing to give them a card and say, hey, just keep this with you because you never know. And that's the only thing. We're having a special. We have a great new shirt called Hope Over Fear. We have a nice tie-dye hoodie and a t-shirt that's split back, very forgiving and cute on the girls. And you can go to our hopeforheather.org site, and it's right there under World Ovarian Cancer Day. You can make a donation and get a hoodie or a shirt that helps us, and also helps our friends at CMY Racing who design the shirts for us. They're a small business as well who's hurting. And find out about our services in the community. We are very proud of our shirt. We have a port access shirt that unzips for access to the chest port, because when women go for chemo, very often they have to wear a tank top and they're freezing, or they have to wear a hospital gown and there's no dignity. So we got Macy's to partner with us so we could provide these shirts to our ovarian cancer patients at no charge. Come to our support group meetings. There are so many ways you can participate with Hope for Heather, and or just donate. If you can't donate money, we always put out bags of comfort. We have puzzle books and hand sanitizer and fluffy socks and herbal teas. We can always use donations of tangible goods as well as money to put in our comfort bags. There's lots of ways you can participate, but the most important way you can participate is by sharing a symptom card and just saving a life.
Right. Absolutely. And who doesn't want to do that? So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen, for what you're doing. This is fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Well, I hope to get the word out. And I know that just listening to everyone and hearing about all of these incredible services within the community and the passion that people have behind it, it gives great hope for the future. And also just the strength of what we're going to come out on the other side of this with, you know, absolutely, knowing everyone's working together and all of the community action and collaboration. I just love it. So thank you.
My supervisor slept through the whole thing, but he's waking up now.
Well, thank you.
He was not interested.
Well, take care of yourself and have an incredible day.
Thank you. You as well.
And I'll put up a link for you. And we'll do a May 8th shout out. And I also want to get my hand on some of the cards to hand out. Okay.
PM me. I'll send you some.
I will. Okay.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.